Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So in the last episode, I talked about multidimensional code. So in this episode, I'll be talking more on the lines, right? We're gonna look at different options and to see what that means, right, from a multidimensional code perspective. Okay, so if you remember, if you recall the last episode, right, what I've done, I created a code, right, and I've created a product and enabled the multi-dimensional coding option, right? So if you go to this product here, go to VPN license. This is the one which I've used, right? And all I've done was that I've added the price dimensions, okay? Now, the price dimensions is pretty cool, right? So it lets you add, the price dimension, a record, and with the type, right? So in today's episode, I will focus more on the type, and I'll tell you why. Okay. So I just wanted to run through one scenario, and then we come back to the type. Because if I go back to the code, excuse me, and I choose this code, right? So normally what happens is, right, I'm going to choose a code. Uh, Say instead of 24-month subscription, right, I will choose a 16-month subscription. That means you will have 12 months in a year, and then 4 months in the next year, right? I hope that makes sense. So what I've done, in this specific code, I just specified the start date, right, just to make it simple. So what I've said, the code start from the 1st of January 2022. Okay. So I'm going to add product, and just go for VPN license. I'll use the same and select. So you're not seeing the segmented one here because if you remember, I've enabled uh, in a product to not to by default not to show segmented display. So I can do that here by resegment. Okay, now what I've done, so I've added a product, so now it will segment into 2 years, right? So if you expand this one, you can see that years start from 1st of January 2022, and end date. So it's 12, the Christmas. Sorry, not Christmas. So the end of the year, right? The December, and then it will start for the next year from the 1st of Jan, and it will end on April, right? So pretty simple. Okay. Now so you might look at this and you might say, hey, I don't have an end date for whatever reason, right? If you're not able to see end date, so you can add that. It's pretty simple. I'll just show you in a second how to do that. Uh, so what I'm trying to show you here, right? So if you wanted to segment your the code, right, in like in a multidimensional way, you can do that. But now, as a sales rep, right, say you might get a requirement where they say, hey, I don't want the first year from the first of say first of Jan 2022 till December 2022. What I want to do is that I want this first year to be from the 1st of Jan 2022 till the 31st of May 2022, and the remaining should go under year two. Is that possible? Absolutely, it's possible. So if you remember, when I started this lecture, I talked about type, right? And I said we're going to revisit that. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so before I talk about type, right, uh, I was mentioning about end date, right? And you might say, hey, I can't see end date. So to get that option, all you have to do, go to the setup, okay? And we will go to the setup here, and go to the object manager, right? And code lines, okay? And a field set. So you just go to this segment line editor, okay? So if you don't see the end date here, just drag from this down, right? That's all you have to do, okay? In case if you're after this option, if for whatever reason, if you can't see this. Because the reason why I'm telling this I remember this experience when someone saying, "Hey, I can't see an end date. Can you show me how to do that?" So this is how you do it, right? Okay. All right, sweet. Now go back to the code. Okay. So now we wanted to change this, right? Now I will not save this code. I will just cancel it. Now I'll go back to the product again. Okay. Now I'll go back to the same product, VPN license, and I'll go back to the price dimensions. Okay. And I wanted to edit this yearly dimensions. So I'm going to do edit. Now, the main attention you should be focusing on type because, in the previous episode, I configured this to be as an year, which means that, it will segment based on or segregate based on year, okay, which is cool. But that's not the requirement, right? The requirement is I wanted to segregate based on, my own requirement. Like I wanted, first year from say Jan to May, okay, and the second year from, whatever from that. So can you do that? That's the question. And the answer to that is absolutely. So what do you have to do? Change the type from year to custom. Okay, that's all you have to do. And you save, right? Now let's go back to the code. Let me refresh this. You know, um, and we will go to the same code. Okay, and I will choose the edit lines and add that product here. Um, add product. So I will say VPN, choose this. Right. Now see the difference, okay? Now this is not the segregated view, so I just wanted to. Now you see the custom here, right? So this is what enables a sales rep or an agent to configure this based on the custom requirement. So our requirement is we want from um, 1st of Jan to 31st of May, right? In the first section, and in the second they from 1st of June to whatever, right? So I go here, okay. So remember this date, okay, and I change the name from here to I will say first year, and I will say plus, and I will say second year. Okay, so the requirement is, okay, I'll copy this because this is the last year. So the requirement is I want the first day from the first year should be from the 1st of Jan 2022 till 31st of 2022 May 30th 31st, okay? And obviously the second year should start from um, where is it? June, right? Looks all right to me. Okay, I'm save it. It's going to take a wee while. Okay, that's saved. Now you can see the first year and second year. Let's see the difference. The start date is from 1st of Jan and end date is the 31st of May. And the second year start from, whatever. So this is how you can customize it, right? If you wanted to specify a custom date, you can do that. It's a pretty powerful option. Now, I just wanted to mention one more thing. Let's say you wanted to custom from instead of the 6th of June, right? You want the second uh, segment should start from say 1st of July. Okay. Now, can you do that? Let's find out. Okay. So you got this message. The start date of each segment must be the day after the previous segment. So basically, it's complaining that okay, you cannot do that. But we have a configuration using which you can achieve this. Okay, so I will cancel this. Okay, and I will go back to the second page. I go to setup. Okay, and I will say install. Okay, go to the install package. Go to configure, right, and go to the pricing and calculation. And there is this option: allow non-consecutive custom segments. So I just take it, save it. Okay, and Let me refresh it. Okay, this one. All right. So we'll say add product, and I will say VPN license, and do select. Um, all right. We just resegment it. Custom. Right. As usual, remember this one. Um, so I'll just say first year, right? And I will say second year, and so this one is still May, right? That's a requirement. And this one we said we want it from July, right? So 1st of July. Let's see if it works or not, right? All right, didn't complain. So obviously that seems to work. Okay, so this is how it works, right? As you can see that he wanted to start the second year from a month later. So you can do that using that configuration. It's pretty powerful option, right? Sometimes you might realize, hey, that's not working. So this is one of the options you have to uh, tick. But in most scenario, right, the customer may not want that, but it depends upon the business context, right? What are you trying to achieve? Because everything is driven by a business requirement, right? At the end of the day, CPQ is just a tool, right? And we are here to solve the problem for our customers. So they have a business need, and you're trying to use the Salesforce to solve that business problem, right? So that's the one thing you should always remember, right? Tool is just a tool, right? You can use Omni Studio, you can use Salesforce, you can use AWS, you can use other technology. It doesn't matter, right? These are just a tool, right? At the end of the day, so you the main goal is to solve a customer problem, right? So that's okay. Anyway, sorry, digress. Okay, now one more option I wanted to talk about before I close this episode for today. So there, if you remember, there, if I mentioned about the type, right, where I've changed the type to say, the custom. Now, if there is another type which I wanted to talk about. That is the one time. Okay, so now the one time. So for instance, right, you so you bought a computer. Okay, so now you are pretty new to how to use computer, and you don't know anything about how to assemble it. So you asked someone to come and assemble it for you. Okay, install the software and do whatever. Right. So they say we wanted to charge $50 for it. It's like a one-off fee. Okay, and there's no discount applicable to that whatsoever. So how do you achieve that? So to achieve that, you use this option called one timer. I mean, just a scenario. This is a one specific scenario. You might have different reason why you should be doing just one-off payment, right? Or you're joining a group, right? So you have to do so. Or another option I can give you. You're joining a gym, right? You're joining like for instance in New Zealand we have a gym called City Fitness, right? Pretty fantastic gym. I've been a member for years, right? So when you join a gym for the first time, right, you have to pay a one-off fee, right? Just that's for to making your access card and that kind of stuff. So that one-off fee, right, you can call it as a one-time fee, okay, like $50 or $60 or whatever. So the same thing, what we're going to do for this VPN license, let's say you're pretty new, you don't know how to, configure it. So you are getting a one-off phone support to configure it. So let's say, $30 for it, right? Pretty sweet. So to do that, you have to create a new record. So you're just going to say new, say initial installation, installation fee, right? I'm just going to do one off. And here you have to say, okay, I wanted to charge them $30. Obviously, labor is expensive, so and now so non-discountable. So do you want it to make it as a non-discountable, which means that do you want it to allow sales rep not to give discount? So yeah, so you can say yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the code. Um, excuse me, and I will go to the same code and edit lines. Um, add product. And what is this about? VPN. Choose this. Select. All right, just a second. Let's go back here. There you go. Installation fee. Um, and if you go down, you see that this is $30 what we charged, and you got the one-off fee for it, right? So this is how you normally do it if you wanted to give a one-off, you know, if you wanted to charge a one-off fee, right? In this case, installation fees, uh, right? So and the custom, as you can see, right, you can configure, the custom date, which I've already explained to you before. So this is what I wanted to cover in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. This is pretty important, right? From an exam point of view, also from a normal implementation perspective. So yeah, so that's being said, I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Adios.